Sunday, March 29th, 12th or 13th day of the quarantine. Anyhow, yesterday, Trump stated that he wants his signature on all the relief checks. So I wrote a little ditty to explain why. Listen carefully. I want to sign the check, said Trump, the president, but they asked why. Why? What is the intent? They must see Trump when the money's being spent. They must know that Trump's keeping them content. Biden is sequestered, unseen, an elderly Delaware resident. The more Trump gives the masses, weakens his opponent. So by now the beauty of it must be evident. Every check that says Trump is an advertisement, paid for completely by the U.S. government. Normally, the checks are signed by a U.S. civil servant, but that won't happen now that Trump's the president. Beep, 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 boop, boop. Here's a nice little tidbit. China is now the largest producer of face masks in the world. They have thousands of factories producing them. In the first 2 months of the year, a staggering 8,950 new manufacturers started producing masks in China, racing to fill the huge gap in demand. China produces 95% of the masks we use. There's only one major manufacturer of face masks in the U.S., Prestige America Tech. And they charge $5 a box for 50 masks, while China charges $1 a box for 50 masks. It shouldn't surprise anyone. It's the reason that China became the manufacturing mecca of the world. So if you need face masks, we have to get them from China. How's that for a kicker this morning? So I took a look at the Corona relief package to see if it specifically designated money to any given industry or business. It doesn't. One thing I was happy to see was a clause that pertained to the cruise industry. They will not be getting much of anything. Most of their employees are not U.S. citizens, and many of them live on the ships. Plus, most of the ships are registered to other nations. I was happy to see that because I don't consider the cruise business essential in any way to the U.S. economy. And as my research showed, there are not many U.S. citizens working for them. Then I started to look for specific businesses who would qualify for help, like Boeing. As far as I'm concerned, I have mixed emotions about helping them. The software problems that existed on the 737 aircraft that caused the lives of over 300 people was a monumental fuck-up. And based on that, I would not be willing to help them. In my mind, most of their senior management team should be gone, along with any of the inept software engineers involved in the design, testing, and training of the failed software application. However, the company must be saved because of the thousands of good workers who work for the company and because of the impact Boeing has on the economy of the Seattle area and the state of Washington. So I say we should help them, but there should be some strings attached, like eliminating some of the liberal payback clauses that would apply to other companies. If that were to be put into place, many in the Senate and Congress would have to answer to the Boeing stockholders. And you know what that means. It means that I am pissing in the wind. Well, here's another thing. Speaking of stockholders, there are some things in the relief package that will make them very unhappy, because companies that borrow money are forbidden to repurchase their stock or pay dividends during the loan and for a year after. They must not cut staffing by more than 10% through the end of September. The other thing the lawmakers is they placed restrictions on compensation and pay increases for executives. move that were intended to address some of the criticism about the bailouts of the 2008 crisis. But the pay limits will not necessarily do away with the multi-million-dollar paydays. In fact, when you listen to this thing, you'll recognize that it really sucks. Executives who make more than $3 million in 2019 will be awarded the $3 million, plus half of any sum in excess of $3 million. So as a result, a chief executive who earned the monumental sum of $20 million in 2019 would be allowed compensation of $11.5 million. What a terrible situation that is. Can you imagine having to struggle on $11.5 million? Anyhow, the restrictions would apply from the time the federal support began to 1 year after it ended. Now, I'm done with this stuff. I'm done for the morning. I'll think about something else for tomorrow. Have a wonderful